Hi everyone, it's Nick with the STARS program. This is a short video that is directed towards my service provider admins. So some of you may consider yourself, you're actually, we call you STARS coordinators in the program, but anytime we are in the online application, a service provider is just any agency that we set up. If it's a hospital, if it's an EMS district, a fire district, a school, whatever it may be, that's called a service provider in our application. And every service provider has admins who can control personnel within that admin. And so that's kind of the main role, is to be able to add, remove, and edit any of the users for that service provider. So thank you very much for the role that you guys play with us. We hope to only continue to expand the abilities of the service provider moving forward, including internal messaging systems, the ability to do follow-up on calls from your side as well. So this is what'll get your foot in that door, and then please work with us as we continue to expand the STARS world. Help us know what would make your life easier as we all move forward on this endeavor. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and log in as an admin here. Please always remember that if for any reason you forget your password or you've expired out, you can always activate the automated forgot my password feature. I have faith that most of the admins can remember theirs and work this out, but of course you'll have employees under you who only log in a few times a year and forget theirs. So you can always direct them to just go click the forgot my password if you don't have the time or the ability to go in and manually edit it yourself. So cool. Just a brief reminder, all users of the application, whenever you log in, this is called your dashboard. You immediately see whatever active stars are available to you for your service provider. And so we can see this one's got 3 located within it. And today what we're really going to focus on is your ability to add and remove people. And so dashboard, all your viewers see these tabs, dashboard and resources. But whenever you're an administrator, you pick up a third tab over here. And this is where you can edit any service providers you're affiliated with. So if you're affiliated with multiple, you have multiple. If you're only affiliated with one here, you would only have one. And so we'll go ahead and click on that just to see it, and then we'll talk about users too. So as you can see, when I click on a service provider, it pulls up the main detail page of my service provider. You can always edit any of these details if we have them incorrectly in here, or if anything changes for you. And so you can see the name is editable, so kudos to you if you change provider, your provider updates itself. Address, location, phone number, and then you know what kind of provider you are. And so we're just going to cancel so we don't make any changes there. And then also underneath that, you immediately see a list of all users that are affiliated with your service provider. And as long all new users added to the application have to have a phone number. There are some who are grandfathered in from our previous application who still might have a blank here, but once you have that phone number, we can quite simply choose whether we want that person to receive the dispatch announcements via text. And so Johnny Gage was pretty willing to go, so we're going to assume he wants the pages so he can be a better care provider. And so there we go. He now gets the pages. If you need to add an existing user, so say there was somebody we already have in the system, they used to work for your neighboring service provider, and now they started working for you. Well, we can just go in here. We know that Trish Casey is a pretty A-OK care provider, so we're glad she's here working with us today. And we're going to add her, and that simply drops her in as another user here. So it's really easy if they're already an existing user in our system. If they're not, you hired somebody brand new, they come to you from somewhere else, they've never been in STARS before, so now we want to add them as a user. So we will add good old John Smith. It always provides the rest of the login for you. And then we'll just assume J. Smith got in on the ground floor at imail.com. and he is just going to be a viewer. Oh, poor Jay Smith already had his login taken. Let's see if Joe Smith. Joe Smith's good. All right, jsmith at imail.com. He is an EMS viewer. If you were to be adding him, say he got hired at a manager level and you want another fellow service provider admin to help you keep up with your people, you could add him there. You can also add if you get a new medical director for your agency, or if you have dispatchers that work for your agency, you can always add them in that role. The key difference between just a regular viewer in the application and a dispatcher is that dispatchers do have that ability to send plans out to anyone in the system. All right, and we'll assume he has the very popular phone number that so many of my users do in here. So we added him. So excellent. We have him in. If we were ever to need to change his password, we could do that over here. And then we could edit any of his details. So one key thing we have to do now, so we added him as a user, but he's just a user in the system now. He's still not affiliated with your service provider. So the one thing you have to do is, if you've had to create a new user, you then have to, after you've created them, you have to come back and add them to your service provider. So now he's an existing user, and as you saw before, it will be very easy to add him in. So, oh, there's so many Johns. How about we just look for Smith? A lot of those too. All right, so I got John Smith in, and I was adding the J.O. Smith. So I've selected who I want to add. We'll add them down there. And now I have picked up my brand new employee. John Smith is down here at the bottom. Of course, we want him to receive the dispatch as well when he's going to a call. And so that's quite simply how we add a user. As you can probably tell, it's fairly intuitive, but it's also super easy to remove users. So John Smith didn't make it off probation, that poor guy. And so we don't no longer have him affiliated with our agency. And so we're going to remove him. And quite simply, that is all it takes to do that. All right. The one other thing you can look at is you can look at users. So this will show you users who are affiliated with your service provider. And so you can see they're broken down by their roles within the system. And so you have all your viewers, no dispatchers are affiliated with this service provider, we have our medical director, and we have our service provider administrators. All right, and so that is everything you need to know as far as managing your service provider. All right. Please check out the other videos. We have lots of other good information available to you. And as always, please reach out to us at the STARS program if you have any questions, concerns, you don't feel anything is working appropriately for you. And so you can either email us, or else there is a link up here underneath resources. You can always go report an issue under here, in addition to accessing some of those other resources, videos, trainings, anything you might need to either for yourself or for the providers who work underneath you. So thank you very much for your time today. We appreciate what you guys do, and please be safe out there.